All right, so this is Module 3, Lesson 2. Today we're going to be talking about recursive formulas. So let's take a look here. So yesterday we talked about, or last lesson we talked about generating formulas that represent a sequence. So consider this sequence right here. So it's 5, 8, 11, 14, 17. So very similar to yesterday with different numbers. But this you can tell right away, this is an adding 3 pattern. Okay, so we learned yesterday that we can represent that with an explicit formula. We're going to go ahead and call this sequence F. And you know what? I'm going to use, just to make sure that we're using all the notation that you could see, I'm going to actually label this one a little bit different. Let's call it capital A, and then let's use subscripts because sometimes you see subscripts in formulas. So let's try that. So this is still A of n, okay? And this one starts with 5, and we're adding 3 each time, and we're multiplying that by, again, n minus 1. So to generate any term in the sequence, we're going to take 5, and we're going to add to it 3 multiplied by the previous term. So if I want the 50th term in the sequence, I'm going to do 5 plus 3 times 49, which is 50 minus 1. Okay, so we know that this is called an explicit. This is called an explicit formula. Okay, you learned that in the first lesson. But there's another way that you can generate the sequence. And this might actually be a little bit more intuitive to some of you because you might say, when you're explaining to somebody, like if somebody came up to you and said, hey, how do you make this sequence? You might say, well, you just add 3 each time. Start with 5 and then add 3 each time. Well, describing a sequence in that way is known as being recursive. And what that means is every term is generated by the term before it. Okay, so what does that look like? So again, we're going to call this A sub n is our sequence. Okay, but this is what we're going to do. All we're going to do is if you want any term in the sequence, you're just going to take the term before it and add 1. Well, what is the term before it? The term before it is A of n minus 1. And we're going to take that and we're going to add 3 to it. Okay? So let's take a closer look at this. So say I want the 50th term. This is the 50th term. How do I get it? I take the 49th term, which is defined as A of n minus 1. So this would be A sub 49. I take that and I add 3 to it. Now, you could write the exact same thing this way. You could take any term, and again, you're taking the one before it. So if I'm looking for the 50th term, that would be 49 plus 1. That would give me 50. So the 50th term is the 49th term plus 3. So it's the same either way. Now, what's missing from this? What's missing is the 5. It's what do we start with? So we have to include that information in our recursive formula. So we have to tell you that A sub 1 is 5. We have to do the same thing down here. We have to tell you that A sub 1 is 5. Okay, so this is a different way of looking. Some of you might actually prefer this. Remember, these both say the same thing. It's just this one uses n and n minus 1, current term, previous term. and this uses next term, current term. It's just a different way of looking at it, but it means the exact same thing. So let's take a look here. Let's generate the first 5 terms of a sequence. So what does this say? This says, okay, so I realized that there was a little mistake and I made an adjustment to the document. So this is what I changed it to. This is what you have on your paper. So what does this say? This says I have a sequence called f, and to find any term in the sequence, f of n, I take 3 times the previous term, starting with 3. F of 1 is 3. So if I want to generate the first 5 terms in this sequence, I'm going to start with 3, and then I'm going to take, in order to get the second term, I'm going to do 3 times the first term. So that's going to give me 9. And to get the third term, I do 3 times the second term, 27. And to get the fourth term, I do 3 times the third term. And I need to get my calculator here. I don't know 27 times 3 off the top of my head. So that's 81. And in order to get the fifth term, I'm going to take the fourth term and multiply by 3. That's 343. So that would be the first 5 terms in this sequence. So there are 2 main differences between an explicit formula and a recursive formula. Pause the video, think about that for just a moment, and see if you get the same thing that I get. In my mind, the 2 main differences are between explicit and recursive. With recursive, recursive formulas use the previous term, the one before it, to get the current term, and recursive formulas require the starting value of the sequence. Okay, you can't just say to me, in order to generate the sequence, take the term before it and multiply by 3. You also have to include the starting value, otherwise I don't even know where to begin. So, explicit formulas, recursive formulas, they have advantages and disadvantages. You need to be comfortable working with both, and you need to recognize both. And I'll tell you, the easiest way to recognize a recursive sequence is that the name of the sequence is in the formula itself. If you think back to if you look back at our explicit sequences don't have the name of the sequence in the formula. The name of the sequence here is capital A. You don't see capital A in the formula. So that's an explicit. Whereas with a recursive, you see capital A both at the beginning and also in the formula. In this case, our sequence is called lowercase f. Notice you see it on both sides. That's the telltale sign that this is a recursive sequence. So we'll work with this a little bit more in class, but that's the gist of it.